guys, I'm just going to wait until there's a few more people, hopefully a few people join me, because I actually want some interaction on this video. I've done some work with the UV resin that I ordered. Totally, well, I had 10 bottles of 30 mils, so 300 mils of resin and a lamp that I bought off Amazon. The price was about $19.99. Sorry, just bear with me a minute. I'll shut off. Sorry, I had somebody talking in the background. I had been watching a video and I forgot to stop it. I bought some UV resin, as I was saying. I bought some UV resin off of Amazon. And I got 10 bottles of 30 mil, so that's 300 mil. And I didn't get a lot out of 300 mil, but I suppose it's the same as what you would get out of 300 mil of epoxy. At the end of the day, you still fill the same molds, don't you? I did have some shrinkage with one particular mold, and I'm going to ask, that's what I want to talk to you about, as well as some of the pendants that I've made today with the last of the resin. I've already done a video on some of the stuff that I did, but I'd like some advice and some help on these latest items. And I thought, well, why don't you do a live and ask for help? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to give it a chance for some people to join us and see whether I can get some assistance. If not, I'll try a live later. But I'll just give it a few minutes and see whether we can get some people on board. Because as I say, it's a spontaneous live. It wasn't planned. So we'll just give people a few minutes to get notifications and whatnot that I've actually gone live. So just bear with me a few minutes. I've got some stuff to do. I'm just gonna get myself another drink and I'll be back in a second. Hi, whoever's in. Pleased to meet you. Please make some comments so I know who you are, because I would like some input today on some of the things that I've done. There's not a lot to show you, but as I say, I would like some input on what you think I should do with some of the things that I've made. So I'll just wait a little bit longer, see if anybody joins us. I had some lemonade here that I had some orange juice too. Excuse me if I'm slurring a little bit. I have had some medication for pain because I'm in a lot of pain at the moment. My fibromyalgia is playing up. So excuse me if I am slurring a little bit. It's morphine. The piece I did the other day that needed some work doing to it, needed some sanding. I have got this far with that. So it's nice and smooth everywhere. But obviously it was done on a, hang on, I think it was a 400 grit. Yeah, it was done on a 400 grit. So it's still very coarse. You can start to see through that. There's two bubbles. Hiya, Annie. Do you want to join me? Just a minute, I'll invite you in. There you go. And I'll look out for you this time so you're not hanging around in the background. So you can see, whoops, you can see it's going to be really nice. But there's also some air bubbles at the back here. So I was talking to my husband, and what we thought we'd do was get a little Dremel with a needle tool on it, and just sand through the air bubbles, and then add some resin to that to fill the bubbles, and then do some more sanding to polish it up. So I'm going to have a go at that and see how that works. So I'm going to get my Dremel out. Dremel. Hiya. So I'm going to get my Dremel out and see how that works. But
Yeah.
it's coming on. It's a lot smoother than it was.
Is it? It
The
looks
edges.
it look really nice.
Look at the edges. You can hardly see there was an edge on there.
Yeah.
And all I did, while we were talking the other day, all I was doing was like sanding it while we were talking. So while I'm busy doing something else, sanding it's not like a chore.
No.
I've always thought sanding would be a chore, but while I'm doing something else and talking to somebody else, it's not so bad.
No, it isn't. It's just doing little bits, isn't it, at a time.
Yeah. How are you?
Okay today, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Bit warm, a bit overheated again today.
Yeah, it's going to be warm, isn't it? How's Simon and the girls?
Well, I've not heard from Simon at all, not since before she died. It was Kelly that let me know that she died, and it been Kelly I've been talking to. I haven't got a phone number for Simon. I've got Danielle's phone number, and I do believe somebody has been using her phone on Facebook. Oh, I can see it up on Facebook because it's but I've tried to stay away, if you like, let him do his his family and his grieving. But I mean, funerals a week on Monday, a week tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought about getting something from the Crafton community and sending it to her?
No, because it's a cremation. Hospitals don't take flowers now,
No, they don't.
So I was going to get some flowers and also contribute to the Macmillan nurses, because Simon says donations to Macmillan nurses is the actual thing. And I thought, well, if it's cremation, flowers are a waste of money.
They are.
You might as well give more to Macmillan nurses.
You might as well, that's right.
And I was chatting with, can't think of her name, blooming name. Well, I got Steph.
Right.
She's coming down from Sunderland to her mum to funeral.
Right.
He was going to get flowers and donate to Macmillan, and I said, well, I was until I found out it's a cremation. Now I said, originally it was going to be a burial, because
Right.
when not the last time Daniel came, but the time previous, she wanted to talk about her illness and what have you, and I don't think she could do that at home because it upset
Right.
Annie, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we were
It
just sat
is hard when you've got. I know when I had my cancer, the feelings that I had, you wanted to talk about them, but you didn't want to talk about them to family because you didn't want to worry family. You didn't
well,
want to make them feel more anxious.
well,
So it
Simon's
was
been
really
really,
hard.
yeah, it's been really hard on Simon right from finding out she got
Yeah.
cancer, and even when they thought that she was going to be all right, you know.
Yeah.
I still
Was it breast cancer she had?
no cervical.
Oh,
It was in a pelvis, cervix, and then she went through. Mind you, I blame hospital in one
dear.
respect because she found out in, I think it was either June or July, and they didn't start treatment while October. And then she had radiation therapy, and chemo once a week. And it was only a mild chemo she had once a week, up through till beginning of December. Then she had what they call brachytherapy, and that's steel rods going up your front passage
Yeah.
for 3 days for electrical
Yeah. Yeah. I know
therapy.
what you mean. Yeah.
And we think that she'd suddenly developed a hole in her bladder, and it wasn't
Right.
cancer. And she thinks it's ever since she had that done that she couldn't hold on.
Right.
It had just run away from her. She couldn't hold it.
So she thinks what's happened is when they've gone up, they've damaged the urethra.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, either that or actually into a bladder because it went right up. I mean,
Right.
I saw just by pure coincidence on one, you know, like you see different videos going up and down side of your things when you're watching a video. And I saw something on there. I didn't look for it, it would just happen to be there, and it said about brachytherapy in 1900, so like 19th century.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I wonder if that's like what Daniel. So, because I went and had a little look at it, bloody hell, when I saw those rods, I mean, they were long rods. I'm not sure if they were
Awful.
nearly 3 foot long.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
awful.
and she couldn't move. She got to lay on her back for 3 days solid, couldn't move at all. Weren't allowed to move.
No.
And then she had one last chemo after that. And then they said that they need to see them well after Christmas, which was fine. So she got Christmas all over and done with and that before she started back. She went back in March. They sent for her for an appointment for an MRI scan. Oh, where it's a CT scan. It were one, or I think, I don't know if she had one or both. But anyway,
Right.
they said it's come back.
Bless her.
And I mean, when she first saw that gynecologist originally, he said they were going to be able to clear it up for us. You know, they were going to save her. Because she said, "How long have I got?" And she said, "Oh
Sorry,
no,
they told her that they were going to save her.
yeah." He said, because she said to him,
They shouldn't make promises like that.
she said, "How long have I got?" You know, and he said, "Oh no, we don't even think about things like that." And nurse said, "Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about that. No, we'll sort you out and all this blah blah." But then when they did all these tests again, it had come back more aggressive and it had spread, and it was working its way up to a kidney. And just looking, how many have you got watching?
Poor
How many people are watching, Leaves?
Just one. There doesn't need to be anybody.
Right.
Just me and you.
Thinking I'm talking about this live on internet. I shouldn't really be doing that.
Oh,
I never thought. But anyway, she was rest history, as it were. Just
bless her.
said, well, there's no point.
It's awful. I know, because I had stomach cancer. I don't know whether you're aware of that, Annie. I don't know whether you're. And I've lost my stomach because of that.
Uh-huh.
It was a very rare kind of cancer. And the doctors were saying, it's fine, we'll get it out and it's okay. And they took the stomach out and I was fine and I was really doing well. And my sister had the same, we're twins. My sister had the same cancer the year before.
Yeah.
And I was really chuffed because my recovery time was quicker than hers.
Yeah.
She was in about 10 days, and at 7 days, I was looking at coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But we had then a complication. What happened was the stitches snapped, and I started getting a leakage.
Oh, God.
So what was happening and what should have gone into my bowel was actually coming out and into the surrounding space.
Right.
Because the spaces between your bowel, there's obviously negative space in your body, isn't there? Around all different organs. And what was happening was the liquid was feeding into that. So I ended up with streptococcal and coli. And I was really ill. And that was a month. And then they sent me home thinking everything was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So within a week of me going home, I was getting the same symptoms and it was back. So I ended up, my hospital was terrible. I ended up having a dirty needle inserted.
Mm.
Because what happened was when they tried to put the IV in, when they tried to put the IV in,
yeah,
they couldn't make it. So she pulled the needle out and put it down and tried to just wriggle the tube in. Couldn't, picked up the needle that she'd already used, stabbed herself with it. She'd managed to nick herself and then put it inside me. So A, it was a needle that had come out, it was a reused needle. B, it had stuck her and she still stuck it inside me.
Yeah, that's wrong, isn't it?
Fuming. I was so mad. I mean, at the time I wasn't, because at the time I was delirious. I was suffering from blood poisoning, so I wasn't with it. And we really thought I was going to die in that hospital. But then my husband managed to get me out into the hospital where I'd had the surgery.
Right.
In Newcastle, which was about 50 miles away. And once I got there, they got me on a UV drip, antibiotic UV drip, a fluid drip. They had me on a scan. So I'd had a scan. I had pain medication within 4 hours of me arriving. I was in the other hospital 3 days and I hadn't done any of that. And I was really Annie.
Macmillan nurses have been brilliant with that.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Danielle. She said, it's them that's done everything for her.
Amazing.
Her own doctor's not been very good with pain-killing medication and what have you. And they just said to her, Macmillan nurses, Danielle, if you've got any pain, let us know. We can sort that out for you.
I had the same. I had a designated Macmillan nurse. She made sure I had pain medication, that I had counselling, because I'm also bipolar. The anaesthetist decided that because of what had happened, I didn't need my bipolar meds. So he took me off the lot. I ended up suicidal, Annie. I ended up in hospital. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was like, just end my life now. And then they started putting me back on my meds that I should have been on. And the Macmillan nurse ensured that I was doing, they did all of that. And straight away I started to improve.
Mm.
It was ridiculous. Oh,
Yeah. They,
oh, it was awful.
I
But
mean, I
never
know,
mind.
sorry.
Never mind. I said,
Yeah,
never mind. I'm still alive. I'm here.
this is it, you know. She should be really. I just think that if they'd have not left her so long, if they'd have
Yeah,
started earlier the first
yeah,
time
yeah.
and then not waited so long from Christmas to March, you know, we might have still had her here. And I mean,
I know. It's
she, got this
difficult to know, isn't it?
she got this little black and white printer thing in her handbag. I've never seen one before. And she just connected it to her phone and she printed yards and yards of this paper off with little photographs of her and girls and everything. And
Oh,
she pegged them up on it because on the Danielle's desk is there in my house. Daniel's desk is there, mine's here. We've got his name across. I did all that for him. And then she's pegged these two strips of photographs
oh,
onto ribbon that I've got up here on the thing. Because I said to her, that will always be there while I'm here. That will always be there.
yeah.
Everything.
When I was in hospital, I got cards from all over the world, America, because I think being a Jehovah's Witness, we're in a community that you get to know somebody, and that sort of suddenly like flashes, and you know somebody from a different country, and
Yeah.
you meet people all over the world because
Yeah.
of the religion you are. So I had get well wishes from all over the world, which was beautiful. It was really upbuilding. I was so encouraged, Annie, and it kept me going. And those, they were plastered all over the walls. So my family brought in blue tack, and every time I got a card, it was blue tack to the wall. So after spending 2 months in that ward, the whole walls were full of cards, and it uplifts you, you know.
Yeah, it does. It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It
That you know
does.
people are gunning for you, you know, and you know,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
just wish they could have done more for her. A lot.
Oh no. It's awful, and it really is.
And one of the photographs that's here, the one I'm looking at most, is that closest to me as well, is before she lost all her hair, and she's got the most beautiful smile. Her eyes are smiling, and that's how I've got to remember her because after she lost all her hair and the last time she came, um, she took some photographs. Oh, she'd already took photographs, but I
Was
said,
Danielle the one that you had in the craft room? We did a video with her.
hmm?
She visited, and you did a video. You did it live with her.
Yeah, I did live with her. Yeah, yeah.
I remember that. It was lovely.
Yeah. I said, well, she really didn't want to be on camera for a long time, so we just did a short live because
Yeah,
she didn't want to be. She weren't the kind of person that wanted focus of attention.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I must admit, I'd rather not be.
She was very private, and you know, she's got a lovely husband. She's got a lovely family, beautiful family, and you know, but the last time she came to visit me after she'd gone, I said to Harry, I said, you know, she's not looking very good now. But I didn't expect to not see her again.
No.
And I was actually going to go and see her.
I don't think you ever expect it though, Annie, dear.
Well, they did
Even
actually
when it is expected, it's still a shock.
Yeah, but they did actually tell her that she wouldn't see July.
Right?
Her anniversary was in July with Simon. And she says, this woman come out, she were out, one of Clerical's out of office, come
Right.
round and saying, talking to her. She just discovered that she got to a terminal and they couldn't do anything for her.
Yeah.
And she come in and she's really, Miss Know It All. And she says, "Shall I tell you? Do you want me to tell your husband, dear?" And Danielle says, "No, I'm fucking telling myself, thank you very much." She got really annoyed.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm worried now about is am I gonna see July to have my anniversary? And then she said, "Oh no, dear, no, you'll not see July." And I said to Danielle, I says, "You are joking. You will be here in August." And I said that to her. I said, "You will be here in August." But funnily enough, I'd sent her. She'd asked me to make 2 pots, lidded pots for her. I think they're for her sisters. One was,
Right.
I'm sure they were. Anyway, and I made them for her because she wanted specifically white, but sparkly. And I said, I did them, and I took 2 photographs and sent them to Facebook Messenger. And I put underneath, "What do you think of these?" That were all I put. And I didn't hear anything back. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it was Wednesday when Kelly came on. She says, "Annie, I'm ever so sorry. I don't know whether you've sent messages to Danielle this week at all, but she's had to go into hospice." So I said, "Oh dear." I said, "Well, I actually did message her on Monday, and I said I thought it was strange that I'd not heard back because she might not get back to me the same day because she used to just drop off to sleep anyway, anyway. So I didn't worry about it too much first day.
Yeah.
And when I didn't hear anything Tuesday, I started getting a little bit concerned. And then when Wednesday, she told me that. And then I was going to go visit her that last week. And Harry's not really been fit enough to drive. His legs and feet have been giving him a lot of problems. So, and I don't drive anymore. I've not driven for years. So it was, how am I going to get to see her? And Danielle said to me, when I said I'll go and visit her, she said to me, "Get a taxi and we'll go halves with you." And I said, "You won't go halves. I'm looking at a taxi, but you're not going halves. I'm paying for it." She, no, we'll go halves with you. And oh, dear me. Anyway,
That's the type of person she was, though.
I rang up and I got a price. I didn't ring up. I googled it and I got a price online from one at locals here. One way, £58.
Wow.
One way, and I thought, you are kidding.
No.
There's no way I'm paying. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was worth every penny of that. But I am refused point blank to line anybody's pockets like that. That's
That
ridiculous.
is ridiculous.
No, but it's been like £116 to come back and that and everything.
Exactly, yeah.
Strangely enough, or strangely enough, that was on the Monday. I was hoping to go on the Wednesday, which it turned out was the day she went into the hospice. But I'd been Tuesday, I had a really bad do. And then Wednesday, I weren't much better. And I was supposed to be going on Wednesday, and there were no way I could get. And I was more or less about to message her and let her know I couldn't get this week. Claire, my daughter, was on holiday until the weekend. So I thought, I'll get her I'll get Claire to take me over for an hour next week.
Yeah.
Comes home, but of course, Claire
She
come
was
home on
amazing.
Saturday, the same day that Daniel actually passed away. So I didn't get to see her, and she said, "I want to see her," and I said, "Yes, and I want to see you as well." And I said, "I'm going to find a way, one way or another." But then, as I say, of course, Kelly let me know that she was in a hospice, and I weren't sure whether she'd been in a hospice before just to make her feel a little bit better and get her back on her feet.
Yeah.
But this time she went in, and Kelly actually said to me at the time when she let me know she'd gone in, she says, "They've said it's just a matter of days now." I was gobsmacked. I thought, "You no way." No way she could have got that quick, but she did. And on Saturday morning, which was the day Claire was coming home, I were up at 6:30, please. I don't get up at 6:30 in the morning. I got up at 6:30 in the morning. I could not get back to sleep. And I just had this sinking feeling. I felt sick. Oh, I can't explain it. I just couldn't believe. Because he says, what time did you get up? Because he come down about 8:30.
Hiya, Silver.
Hiya. And I had been up 2 hours when he got up, and he says to me, what time did you get up? And I said, oh, Harry, I says, I couldn't get back to sleep, and I feel sick. Oh, I says, I'm not looking forward to the rest of today, because I didn't know what was going to come. And then when that come, I thought, oh my God, that's just done it. That just tapped it.
It does, doesn't it? Knocks you for 6.
And it's still not sunk in, Lisa. That's what's worrying.
No, it takes a long time.
At all. I talked to her. I've got a photo there, and I talked to her. And I'm saying, I can't believe you're not coming back. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's still real.
It is hard.
But I think, week on Monday we'll all be on his knees.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, she was considering burial. But then, because she wanted somewhere for girls to go and see her, and I said, well, you don't. I would never consider burial ever. I said, well, I mean, you can have your ashes put into Garden of Remembrance, and you have a little plaque and everything, and girls could visit you there if you didn't want to be buried. And she says, well, I didn't actually fancy being buried. And I said, well, it's just an option for you. We didn't go into too much detail, but
no.
I wanted to talk about it, and I didn't want to put her off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like you say,
it's not a nice subject, but sometimes it needs to be discussed, doesn't it?
Well, funnily enough, I mean, Claire and I have had this conversation on Tuesday when she took me shopping. Because of the way that Danielle went so quick without anybody realising it was that imminent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had this conversation, me and Claire. And because she says to me, I don't want a big fuss when I go, burn me, that's me done. And I says, Claire, you can stand me in a corner and dust me off, I don't give a damn. Once I'm gone, I've gone.
I keep telling Jeremy, just chuck me in the sea.
Yeah, well, I says to her, I said, cheapest way possible. Get rid of me. That, I'm not going to do any good for me, Lee, keeping things, I'm spending a lot of money on it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. And she says, no, she says, you can just have Simply Cremated now. It's a company, Simply Cremated, and it keeps your costs right down. And I says, so that's what you need to do with me,
Yeah.
And I'll be straight to her when I do go. And tell her bloody left me.
I want to be buried. My grandma and granddad would turn to ashes, and I felt cheated. Even if it might have been their wish, I want my name on a stone and where people can come and talk to me. Right?
Even with the Garden of Remembrance, you do get a plaque with your name on.
You do.
You don't have to be, I mean,
You've got the option of as well.
You're just going to rot in ground and worms and God only knows where else. I mean,
you've also got the option of an urn. You can have the ashes. You can have ashes these days put into jewelry. You can have them in an urn. You can have. I know a friend of mine. Her husband.
You can have ashes.
While he was dying, he had cancer, but he was a wood turner, and what he did was made hundreds. Well, it felt like hundreds to his wife. Bowls, little containers. There were bowls, there were pots, there were little vases. And at the end of his life, he said he wanted them filling with these ashes and handing round to the family. And that's what happened. They used the pots that he made, put the ashes in them and handed them around.
Yeah, well, I knew that I'd be wasting my time getting my mum's ashes because Claire wouldn't want them when I, So she said, what do you want to do about her ashes? This woman at crematory, she was a lovely lady. And I said, would you scatter them for her?
Yeah,
We can scatter them in gardens, but they got 4 gardens, and they got spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And which garden? And I said, summer garden, because she loved flowers, absolutely loved flowers, my mum. So I used to always buy her flowers when she was living in her little place, took her a bunch of flowers every week. She
yeah,
loved flowers. So, and that's what they did. And I said to Claire, don't go spending a lot of money, because Harry'll be just not know what to do.
yeah.
He won't. And I think he knows that Claire will sort of organise everything for
I'll
him.
be cremated. I'll throw her in the sea, one or the other.
Yeah, that's the twin. There's no point in keeping anything. I mean, I've got, I've got Philip, Philip, Phoebe. I've got her ashes in a lovely urn that we brought back from Spain. It's like a little earthenware pot.
Yeah.
And then Rosie Posey, my little Rosie. I've got
Mm,
her in like a lovely little wooden casket
right.
with a name plaque on.
Oh,
I had that done. But it's like I said, when I've gone, I mean, Harry will not want them, and I know Claire won't want them.
yeah.
So only thing they can do is wherever they move to, if they've got a nice big garden, is bury them in garden, just to,
Well, we live right near the sea. I mean, we can walk. It's about a 15-minute walk from our house to the coast, to
yeah,
a fantastic beach, and we're a 5-minute drive from the North York Moors. So I think I would be like, just scatter my ashes in either one of those places, and
yeah.
I think
Even more, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Be all heather and everything.
you're worried about your mum. She's not eating much, feels nauseous all the time. And when she napped the other day, you thought she'd died because she felt cold, and you had to shout, "Mum," to wake her up.
Do you
Oh,
know,
bless her, Silver.
my mum's done that on me as well when I've gone visiting her. She were only in that place 6 months. She lived with us 7 years, but she were getting worse. She got Alzheimer's, and she were really bad. But she were getting really aggressive, and because my own health was deteriorating,
Yeah,
we couldn't cope with her.
no,
I mean, she did things like, I'm going upstairs. I took her a cup of tea up on my chairlift, put her in thing. She's come out, moaned about something. I've said, "Oh, mum," and then cup of tea's been slung straight at, scalding hot tea. She's slung at me down on stairs. Things like that, and then she'll go wandering off, and and you have to go looking for her. And I mean, I can't do anything about looking for her. So we had her in. We had her put in this. It was got her own little flat, bed set. It was a nice place, beautiful
mm,
place. Yeah, it was like new and all. It were all new bricks and everything. You could tell it were a new building.
yeah,
But Mum died in 2014. Within a year, that place had got pulled down and rebuilt it. Rebuilt somewhere else, houses, not flats.
right,
What on earth they did that for? It was a brand new building. It was perfect for what they used it for.
yeah,
But they knocked it all down. But my mum, we used to go shopping every other day and get fresh, some fresh like things for a tea and that bread and what have you. And we went in. Normally, she could hear us get up. She'd get up, but she was deaf in one ear, so she'd always lay on her right ear because her left ear was
hiya, Ian.
higher again. And
When you pass, you want to be stuffed, mounted, and hung on a wall like a trophy deer.
nah,
You can always trust you to be
I'm
complete,
going
Ian.
straight on fire me. Yeah, I'm going straight.
Oh, that's class.
Oh my God! Just imagine my face on a bloody trophy, can't you? I'm walking like
Oh,
today.
you'd make a lovely trophy, Annie.
Oh my God!
Right, let's show you what I've been doing.
Go on then. Yeah, let's have a look.
So I'm playing with this UV resin that I've gotten.
Yeah,
So I was using the last of it today, and I thought I'd make a coaster with some of the dried flowers, and that's what's come out of it.
right.
It's really pretty. The pattern of the dried flowers is beautiful. But I
Yeah,
don't know what happened. But I don't know whether you can see that. It's dull. It's like shrunk
yeah, it
and
does.
caused like a raised area.
Yeah, right.
So,
I watched a video this morning about exactly that problem.
right.
Um, oh God, what did they call her? I'll find it you because she was brilliant. She tells you why that happened. You know, have you seen this one where they do resin and it's like 5-minute crafts in resin?
Right. Yeah.
Well, she's a debunker.
Right.
She said there's no way would that come out like that done in UV resin
Well,
under a
that's what I was asking my husband. I said, how come they come out with that? And you
no.
think,
She pointed me in the right direction this morning. I didn't know. I really didn't know this. But I've told you before, I've used like these
yeah,
for UV and they're not clear.
yeah,
Right.
they're opaque,
So what
aren't
I've done is I've given it more than enough time than it needs on top, but then I've turned it over
they? Yeah,
and done it
and
a
that's
few
what I did with
times.
it.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether the UV is.
Hi, Mandy.
I don't know whether the UV is getting through that properly. I've just
Right.
been very, very lucky that it's not gone messy. But she showed us on that one today, she was showing how it does shrink back, UV resin does shrink back, but underneath, because it's not curing, it can't get through all that UV resin to
Yeah,
cure underneath. So it bubbles and then it creates lumps and crevices.
yeah.
And
That's
that's
what
what
happened with this.
yeah, well,
So
that's
what I'm
apparently
thinking of doing is using epoxy resin, and I'm going to put it back in the mold that way up and level it off, and then dome the other side, and I
you know,
think that will work.
what you need to try to do with that. Now, I don't know whether this will work with the UV resin, but you know your embossing tool. You know your embossing tool, your hot gun thing.
Mhm.
Get that over it and give it a really, really, really good warm to it's nearly hot, and then put it on a flat surface and flatten it down.
Right.
And put a weight on it to keep it flat while it goes soft again, while it goes hard again.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then turn it over and put it back in if you want
Right.
it that way. Because you're not
Because
gonna
it's beautiful. It's turned out absolutely gorgeous.
yeah,
I am so pleased with the result. But
mm-hmm,
it's just so I'll see.
yeah,
The other thing is this one.
whatever
What
watching.
are they? This one, I did it the wrong way around. So I did layers, but then I put the fern too far up to start with. So it looks better that way around.
I don't know.
So Nina my daughter likes it that way around.
You can see colour at flower behind.
Yeah, it's nice. Then I did this one.
Oh, that's nice as well, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what to do with this really. As I said, I was thinking of putting some clay behind it or painting because it's got
Yeah, I would try and flatten it out first with the heat tool
with a heat tool.
and then put some weight on it. But let
Right,
it get really warm and flexible. Then flatten it down.
right.
But keep your heat moving. Don't keep your heat on one space or it might
Okay,
melt. But get it warm, hottish, and then press it down flat. Put something heavy on it,
right.
and then when it's gone hard and set again, then you can turn it over and put your ordinary resin in. If you want to put ordinary resin, the only thing is putting it back in mold. The only thing is when you put it back in the mold, you've lost your suction from your mold. You know, like you have to peel it out.
Yeah,
Resin can still get underneath it, so it might spoil the underneath.
right. Well, that's what I was worried about, because I thought if I put it back in the mould, because of the shrinkage, then you've got like I've got an edge round, and I thought if I put normal epoxy resin in, it's gonna go underneath, isn't it?
It will, unless you if you flatten it out and then just dome it on other side with epoxy resin.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If I
If you can get it flat,
make sure that's level and
yeah,
epoxy resin it so it's level, and then when that's done, turn it over and dome it.
yeah, but don't put it in your what is it?
Don't put it in my mould.
Mold.
Right, so dome it after it. So what do you mean? Don't put it in the mould.
Get it flat first.
Get it flat.
Get it flat and make sure it's really flattened, set properly. Then you turn it over and then you dome it like you would if you were just doing anything else. But use your proper epoxy rather than.
So what if I don't? What if it doesn't manage to get flat?
It should do.
Do you think?
Well, I'm saying it should do. Actually, I'm talking out of turn there. I don't know for sure because it's UV resin that you've used, so I don't know.
Right.
You'll have to see. If you try it on a little bit. Hiya, Mrs.
How to?
If you
I'm busy.
Hiya, and you just try it on a little bit. And then if it was flexible, you know you can soften it all, flatten it, and then dome it underneath.
Right. Yeah. So I'm thinking if it doesn't flatten properly to level it off, do you think if it doesn't flatten like we thought, do you think if I put it in the mould again and then refill it with resin, it'll, or do you think if I put it in the mould, it'll just spoil the bottom?
It'll run under.
It'll go under.
It will, because you've not got the seal.
Yeah.
You've not got the seal like when it's once it's set actually in its mould, it's sealed until you actually peel it back into it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to like unstick it from it.
Yeah.
Well, you've lost that. As soon as you take it out, you can't get that back by just putting it back in mould. It's got air around it now.
Yeah, it has.
You've got
because it's got quite a. It's about 1 millimetre, maybe even 2 millimetres from the edge now. It one side. So like I fit it in the mould that side, and you're looking at about maybe even 5 millimetres at one side. You see?
Yeah.
So you've got quite a. But at the same time, I mean, I could leave it and just dome the bottom to get rid of the air bubbles.
I think that could be your best plan, actually.
And just use it as more of a plaque than a coaster.
Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking of trying to get a stand mould.
Yeah.
For like when you've got your agates, your geode things that you make, like this, look. Something I'm not saying this is not a thingy bob, but I've got that to put that on.
Right.
Play that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that they do have molds to make.
Right.
These little stands.
Like make a stand for it to sit on.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to look for next. Oh, and I've just ordered today. Hey, I just realised, Amazon's not been. Little buggers. They're supposed to come in today. You've got me.
Well, it might still come, because sometimes they don't come till about. I had something come about half 8 today.
Yeah, we've known them come at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Yeah, but I've been on looking because I'm watching. Tell you that Joy, she's been doing some key rings again today. I'm looking and I'm thinking, her mould is back to front. My mould the right way.
Right.
So when I take mine out of the mould, I don't have a choice. That's the front. And the better side is the back, the flat side.
Yeah.
So I looked on Amazon and they've got a back to front mould. So I ordered $8.99. but it's the same big one, you know. But they're going to be back to back. So when you turn them over the right way, and you've got that nice front. So I ain't got so much faffing to do. Maggie, you like that? No faffing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got bloody cobwebs galore in here.
Well done.
You've got what?
Cobwebs galore.
Would you clean up then?
Hey, I can't
Get fluffer out.
get
fluffer
fluffer out. I'm not doing it. You can do it. I don't like them when they get on
So,
there.
what do you think to that then?
That's pretty. That is nice.
You like it? What
Yeah.
about, which do you think I should, because I'm thinking of doing another like dome like it is,
I like
but
that.
putting it on the other side so that you can see.
Yeah, but you're not thinking.
Do you know what I mean? To make it more oval than.
Yeah, you're not thinking of making a pendant of it, though, are you?
Yeah.
By doing two together, it's going to be too heavy. It's going to be heavy for a pendant, that.
So, but the thing is, using it as a pendant as it is, it's the wrong way around. Because the dome side is all the green. Hi, Jackie.
Are you
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do know.
The dome side is all the green. The actual floral side of it is on the flat side.
But then again, if you're going to stick something on back, you're still not going to see that part.
Well, I was thinking if I put a clear resin dome in the front.
You could do that, or just dome it on the back.
Do you think doming it on the back? Because it's slightly domed now, but it could do with a bit more.
Yeah, well, if you dome it, you're not putting that great big thick part on it, are you?
No.
And it keeps it a bit lightweight, because the thing about resin is, if you're doing big pendants, they're quite heavy. You know,
Well, some people like heavy pendants.
yeah. I know.
I mean,
it's heavy enough, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I did where I added two of the domes together.
Yeah.
But obviously it still needs work.
But that's a smaller one anyway, isn't it?
Sorry?
Is that not a smaller one anyway?
No, it's the same size.
Same size? Because that looks a lot smaller, you know, that shorter.
Yeah, it's the same size.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So this one, and also with this one, I've sanded it all down so it's nice and smooth now. With a 400 grit, so I need to work it up until it gets to buffing level.
Right.
But there's two, if you've noticed, where am I? There we go.
Bubbles. You got some
There's
bubbles.
two big bubbles at the top.
Yeah, well, I won't worry about them. I think they add to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure whether to get like a fine needle sander and sand through those and refill them. You just leave them.
You'll mess it up. You'll be careful.
Right. Then there's this one. I'm quite happy with this one, actually. I don't think this needs much work.
Yeah, that is nice, that one, yeah. Pansy. It's lovely.
I think it just needs dormant at the back.
Yeah.
To give it a smooth.
Yeah, that is nice. It really is.
But I like that one. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And then I did these small ones.
Pansies. I like pansies.
They're gorgeous, aren't they?
And
I did these small ones. That's just a heart. And they've come out really nice. And then just like a little round.
Actually, I've got to get in touch with my daughter. She promised me a head off her hydrangea. And I've not got it yet. And I want it because I want to dry flowers off on it. But they're right nice. They're a nice size to go in your jewellery and earrings and that.
The only trouble I'm finding is when I dry my own flowers, they lose the colour. So I've been, I ordered a load.
I think they're going to find.
4, 5. 2 more to do.
What are you doing, Mandy?
Christmas cards.
Oh yeah. It's only September, hon.
But you don't know what year, though.
She's always usually about 6 months in front.
No, I'm actually 12 months in front.
Oh yeah, well that's good.
Yeah, my God.
Is epoxy resin an expensive hobby? It can be, yes. Although we did get a deal a while ago, and I got this much. Annie and I both went for the same deal, and it was about 50-60 pound for this, and it's
But if you've not done it before, don't buy a
no.
thing like that. Just get a small starter kit off Amazon or eBay.
Yeah.
eBay.
UV. I'm experimenting with the UV resin now.
Yeah.
And that's expensive as well. I think that's more expensive than epoxy.
I mean, I'm waiting, but that's where I'm. Well, no, it's not. That's not where I'm waiting for. Mine's coming from AliExpress. Mine this time, but I'm waiting for my glue. Hey, Mandy, where did you buy your glue like that from? You just bought some, haven't you?
I'll send you a link.
I've already bought it. Where did you get it from?
I got that and tip for £30.
How much is on? So you've got a 16-ounce one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I've ordered a 16-ounce. Oh, have I not?
What do you think to this?
No, an 8-ounce I've ordered, 20 odd. Yeah,
Do you like it?
That.
I was thinking of sending that with your kit for you.
That's nice.
Do you like it? The tail's a bit off.
Ah! I'll have to tell commodity now.
Yeah,
Tail's
so don't review it because the tail's a little bit dodgy.
Oh well, I've got to review some, Anna.
But
have you seen these?
I thought you might like that.
Oh, don't. Oh,
gorgeous.
And it's a brooch.
Yeah, I'll
oh,
get in touch with you, Silver, and we'll sort something out.
And I've done some.
Brilliant. We'll sort something out.
Cover minders. Where am I? Cover minders.
They're lovely, aren't they?
I've got to do a review.
Trevor wants one of them.
Well, Trevor can go.
Nice in a cover
So does
minder.
Mandy by the sounds of it.
I said, well, actually, I've got two setting now that's going to be cover minders, and I've actually just powdered my things up to do my next two. So they just give me mica powder.
Let me show you what I got from 300 ml of UV resin. And it cost me 20 quid.
300 ml of UV resin.
300 ml of UV. So I got 10 bottles of 30 ml.
All right. Yeah.
And plus a lamp. And that was 20 quid. And what I've got is the dragon. I've got some little dragons.
Oh, they're cute.
That one. And that one. They are cute, these. They are really cute.
I've not seen them.
And these two.
I've got a dragon mold, but it's rubbish. Absolutely.
Then we got these pendants that I did.
Nice.
Got to review.
And then
got to review for commodity.
Community.
Commodity.
And then there was that one.
Yeah, they're nice.
Mm.
They are nice.
Then there's this one that's going to need some work. You can
that one's going to look cracking when it's finished.
And I think it's going to be really nice when it's finished.
Yeah.
So I've finished with the 400 grit. I'm now looking at
to be quite honest with you, I think you'll find if you now coat that in UV, you won't need to sand it down anymore.
Do you think?
I'm sure of it.
I might see. Then I did.
What did you do? What I told you to do and rinse it in warm soapy water.
I did.
Right, so it should take nicely to that then, and it should put clarity back.
Then I did that one, which again, the dome is actually on the back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still nice.
Mm.
I did a little pearl. Then there's that one, which is the lace, gold lace material
Yeah, you showed me that. That is nice. That I
with a
would
pearl in the centre.
never would have occurred to me to use fabric or lace.
It's fabric, and it's like hand embroidered in gold thread, and
Nice.
it's beautiful.
Mm.
So it was actually on a top that I got. I got a full set when I was a size 8. I got a full set. It was very Indian type, and it had lots of gold embroidery, and it had flowers with pearls on.
Yeah.
Very lacy. It was beautiful. But rather than throw it out, because it doesn't fit me anymore, rather than throw it out, I thought, well, I could use that. So I kept all the lace and all the pearls, and that's what I came up with for the first try.
Was the lace, sorry, was the pearl actually on the lace when you put it in?
Yeah, it was sewn on.
So it's fitting its lace nicely then, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was sewn into the centre of the flower. Now, a lot of the pearls have actually come off when I've cut the fabric. So I'd need to replace them. But no, that one there that I did, the pearl was actually in the centre of the flower already.
Brilliant.
Then there's those two, which again are like.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got the same flower in them.
Mandy, question for you. You see the shape of those that you just showed? Show its shape again. Right. How would you hang that on a pendant? Would you hang it point down or point up if you wear it on a pendant?
Point up.
Would you? That's what you said, isn't it? And I thought it would look better point down.
Well, what I've done is I've done some point up, like that one. Well, hang on a minute. Let's find.
I don't know. I'm imagining.
I've done that one point up.
Yeah.
There, and I've done that one, which is the same design, same like flower, point down. So let me find my camera. That's it.
Got them both same way there on that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
so that the flower is facing the top, so that it's on the flat. But that one, the flower is actually the other way around, so the top is facing the diamond. The point.
I tell you why I don't do these kind of things, but you know, apparently witches wear the scry with a pendant, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, usually the pendant is the point down. That's how they scry.
That's true. That's true. I then did this little heart, and I think that needs a little bit of polishing, but it's full of gypsophilia.
Yeah, pretty that now.
And I quite like that. And then I did what I did today, which was the little.
Oh, little white.
That one. Then the one with the heart, which is the same flower, but in a heart.
Yeah.
And then I did these 2 large pendants, as I say, we've been talking about with pansy.
Yeah, that is beautiful, that pansy.
You've got the gypsophilia at the top, and it's got some fern in the bottom. But the pansy is beautiful in that. And then, as I say, I've got that pendant. And that's the one that I was asking questions about, because at the back, I put it the wrong way around. So instead of just putting the green to the bottom, then putting the flowers in, then adding this top bit of green at the end, I put it the wrong way around. So we've got most of the fern on the side, that should be the front, and the flower bit on the side, that should be the back. Do you understand what I mean, Mand? So this should be actually the back, but it's the better part of the pendant.
It's the better. What you're saying, it worked out better on that side.
Yeah. The back bit, all you can see is fern with some colour in it. So I don't know whether to. I was saying to Annie, I don't know whether to do another dome,
the dome or
another pendant, and stick it on the back on here to make it more that shape.
Mm.
No, I'd leave it.
Or leave it.
Yeah.
You would leave it.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have just dome it on front, just put a little doming out front, just to
Yeah.
your edges, but I wouldn't put another half.
You've made some
And
beautiful
then-
stuff there.
And this is, did you see this, man? I'm really proud of this.
That is
Ooh.
pretty.
Gorgeous, isn't it? But it needs work because the UV resin shrunk. So if you can see, it's
Warped it.
warped it. So
Just get your heat gun on it.
yeah, we've been talking to Annie, she's given me some suggestions, and then I'm going to dome the back as well because the back's a bit untidy. But I think it's supposed to be a coaster, but I think it would look good as like a wall plaque.
As a what?
A wall plaque, like
A
something
wall
you can
plaque,
stick on
yes,
the wall.
yeah, I'm with you. Mhm.
That's beautiful, actually. Beautiful.
So I'm really pleased with that. You like them, do you, Jackie?
Mm.
I'm pleased you like them. Because I've cost a fortune those dyed flowers, so I'm pleased it's worked out. It's something usable. Because there's nothing worse than spending a fortune on like the resins and the flowers, and then it coming out as something crap.
People buy them for Christmas.
Do you think?
Near the brooch.
I mean, I suppose that would hang off a tree. You could make it into a snowflake, couldn't you? I could add something on the back to make it into a snowflakey type
You
effect.
could actually,
It could hang off a tree.
You know the pattern that's in it, the lines, yeah.
Yeah, make them into like a white snow effect. Make some resin with some glitter in.
Yeah.
And just fill those lines and then put a resin over the top. That might work. I think I'll have a go at that. I mean, this
I
is
have to shoot off. It's because my sister-in-law's ring. She rings me on a Sunday, but I never know what time to do it.
That's the other one I did, and that needs sanding and needs some work.
Yeah.
But it's
Beautiful.
really pretty.
It is nice.
But as I say, that definitely needs some sanding.
I wish I could remember what they called her. She was brilliant this morning. I've been watching her this afternoon, and I thought she's bloody ace.
I sent a message to that Daniel Cooper,
Oh, did you?
I sent that was telling you about.
Yeah, I went and had a look at him, and I thought, I know
You know what I
you
mean? Oh.
He's far up his own arse. He don't know.
He was a bit, wasn't he? But I sent him a message and I said that I've been doing. What did I say? Let's have a look.
I'm going to go because I've got reflux.
Oh, my phone's
Oh,
going.
have you, man? You take care, hon. Nice to speak to you. Thank you for your advice.
Hi.
I'll show you the finished results. I'm going to head off as well,
How you
Annie.
doing?
I am. Because my husband's come in and the kids are everywhere. So I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys, for watching. Really appreciate your ideas and your point of view. Thank you, Sylvie. Love those as a pendant. Point up. Good advice. Thank you very much. Jackie, thank you. You like that? I love the what should have been the coaster. And so I'm going to experiment with that and see what we come up with. So I'll let you see the finished results. If this is your first time, thank you very much for watching. Please consider hitting that bell to be notified when I do videos in the future. I am tending to do live at the moment because my camera is not working well and I'm not able to record videos and then upload them. So I tend to do lives. And please, the more the merrier. Love to have an exchange of ideas. I often ask for your opinion, which is always nice to have. So please hit that button to be notified and let me know what you think. If you've been before, thank you so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. I love the advice that you give and the ideas that you come up with. It's fantastic to have you. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Please remember to pass on a smile if you get the opportunity to. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.